Hello, YouTubers, friends, compatriots, bootlicker shows, desolations, peasants, vassals. I'm a useful idiot, and today we have a special occasion because we have the award of the Political Douchebag of the Week. And there's the envelope, Political Douchebag of the Week. So let's find out who it is. So, Tim Pawlenty. Yes, Tim Pawlenty is Political Douchebag of the Week. And so let's give the rundown on Tim Pawlenty. Of course, most people remember him because he was in the last GOP presidential election cycle and dropped out real early, right after he had a poor showing in Iowa. And then, of course, he was possibly going to be Mitt Romney's vice president. So anyway, we have Tim Pawlenty. He was two-time governor of Minnesota in 2002 and 2006. And he had also been a member of the House of Representatives in 1992. He's a Republican from Minnesota. And his background in Minnesota was he was known as a tax and spend conservative. And just like most politicians, he spoke out a lot against taxes, but was responsible for raising a huge amount of taxes and fees in the state of Minnesota. And, of course, he's also very much against Obamacare, although he was a big supporter of Minnesota Care, they called it. In fact, he expanded it when he was governor. Had huge government-sponsored and paid-for programs against obesity and smoking. And he also spent a lot of money expanding the healthcare welfare system in Minnesota. So hardly, much like Mitt Romney himself, he hardly has room to criticize Obamacare. Then, of course, he was an outspoken critic of the Obama stimulus plans, but just like all the other bootlickers, he lined up to get his piece of the stimulus money and justified it in just so many words. And he also is a big supporter of bailouts and corporate subsidies. No surprise there. That's where most of his campaign donor money came from, was banks and corporations. So then, you know, he's all against the bank bailouts in rhetoric, but everything he did supported the bailouts and corporate subsidies. And he even said, quote, "Let's get the Wall Street snout out of the trough." And that will come back to haunt him now as we get to the end of this video. And then he was a national co-chairman of the Republican candidate Mitt Romney's bid for the presidency, and he was top contender for the vice presidential slot that eventually went to Paul Ryan. And why this is all interesting is because now Tim Pawlenty, dust is hardly settled from his presidential bid, and now he is going to be the CEO of the Financial Services Roundtable. And that is a lobbying group for all the usual giant mega banks, including Wells Fargo and JP Morgan, and he will be lobbying against the regulations that he was supposedly supporting while he was in the government. And this is how it works. I've talked about this before, about where the payoff is when you have rich lawyers and rich businessmen and rich investors who take low-paying government jobs, and where the payoff is. And this is where the payoff is. So now here it is a few years later, and Tim Pawlenty lands himself a lobbying job like all the rest, and is going to be making $2 million a year, and he's on easy street now. That's what his government service was about. Years of empty rhetoric and hypocrisy, only to sell out to the highest bidder when he gets out of office, using his government experience. So good riddance, Tim Pawlenty. You are officially Political Douchebag of the Week, and are in the running for Political Douchebag of the Year, although there's many contenders. So my hat's off to you, Pawlenty. Don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out. I'm a useful idiot. Don't you be one too.